Something is happening to your body that most people notice, but almost nobody understands. You are not eating more than you used to. You are not exercising less. And yet your body is changing in a direction that makes no sense on the surface. The muscle is disappearing slowly from your arms, your legs, your shoulders, and at the same time, belly fat is appearing or growing in the same period where your muscle is declining. The same body, less muscle, more belly fat simultaneously, and you are doing nothing differently. This is not a mystery. It is a biological process with a specific name, a specific mechanism, and a specific solution. And today we are going to explain all three. But first, I need to tell you something that connects muscle loss and belly fat accumulation in a way most people have never heard. Muscle and visceral fat are not independent variables. They are part of the same hormonal system, and they respond to the same hormonal signals, just in opposite directions. When the hormonal environment is anabolic, high growth hormone, adequate testosterone, low cortisol, good insulin sensitivity, muscle is built and maintained, and visceral fat is released. When the hormonal environment becomes catabolic, declining growth hormone, declining testosterone, elevated cortisol, worsening insulin sensitivity, muscle is broken down and visceral fat accumulates. The same hormonal shift that causes one causes the other. They are two symptoms of a single underlying hormonal deterioration, which means addressing one without addressing the other is addressing the symptom without the cause. Here's the specific mechanism that drives both simultaneously, and this is where it gets genuinely alarming. The primary driver is the decline in anabolic hormones, specifically testosterone and growth hormone. Testosterone is the primary signal for muscle protein synthesis in both men and women. When testosterone is adequate, your body continuously repairs and rebuilds muscle tissue in response to physical demand. When testosterone declines, which begins in the 30s and accelerates significantly after 50, the anabolic signal weakens. Your muscles respond less efficiently to the same physical stimuli. They repair more slowly. They break down more readily and simultaneously. Because testosterone normally suppresses cortisol's fat-storing effects in visceral adipose tissue, lower testosterone means cortisol has a freer hand to deposit fat in the abdomen. Less testosterone means less muscle repair and more visceral fat storage. The two processes accelerate together because they share the same hormonal root cause. Growth hormone compounds the problem. Growth hormone drives lipolysis, the breakdown of stored fat during sleep and during fasting. It also protects muscle mass during periods of calorie restriction. As growth hormone declines with age, both of these protective functions weaken simultaneously. Your overnight fat burning decreases. Your muscle protection during any calorie deficit decreases, which means dieting after growth hormone has declined produces more muscle loss and less fat loss than the same diet produced at a younger age. You are restricting the same amount, but your body is now choosing to burn muscle instead of fat because the growth hormone that normally protects muscle during restriction is no longer present in adequate amounts. And now, the twist that most people find completely counterintuitive. Cortisol is the third hormone, and it is the one that most aggressively drives the muscle loss and belly fat accumulation cycle simultaneously. Cortisol is catabolic for muscle. It promotes the breakdown of muscle protein to release amino acids that the liver can convert to glucose for fuel. And cortisol is specifically anabolic for visceral fat. It drives the accumulation of fat in the deep abdominal depot through cortisol receptors that are more dense in visceral fat than anywhere else in the body, which means when cortisol is chronically elevated, your body is simultaneously breaking down muscle and building visceral fat. Not one or the other, both, at the same time. And the behaviors that most people use to address the problem, aggressive dieting, intense cardio, skipping meals, are among the most potent cortisol elevators available. The solution most people reach for is accelerating the very process they are trying to stop. So, what actually reverses this simultaneously? The first intervention is resistance training, specifically compound movements that stimulate the largest muscle groups: squats, deadlifts, rows, push-ups, overhead press. These movements produce the most powerful anabolic hormonal response available without pharmaceutical intervention. They stimulate testosterone release. They create the mechanical tension that signals muscle protein synthesis, even in the presence of declining anabolic hormones. And they improve insulin sensitivity in muscle tissue, which means lower post-meal insulin, which means more time in fat-burning mode. 2 to 3 sessions per week is sufficient. More is not better after 50. More risks the cortisol elevation that accelerates the problem. The second intervention is protein-anchored meals at the 40-gram threshold. After 50, anabolic resistance means your muscles need 40 grams of complete protein per meal to trigger full muscle protein synthesis. Not 20, not 30, 40. Eggs, salmon, chicken, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, every meal. This is the single most direct nutritional intervention for stopping muscle loss. And because preserving muscle preserves insulin sensitivity, it is simultaneously a visceral fat intervention. The third intervention is sleep protection. Above everything else, growth hormone surges during deep, slow-wave sleep. That surge is the primary overnight signal for muscle repair and fat release simultaneously. Protecting sleep, cool room, no alcohol, no food, 3 hours before bed, consistent sleep time is not a lifestyle preference after 50. It is the intervention that determines whether your body repairs muscle or breaks it down overnight, and whether visceral fat is released or accumulated while you sleep. Drop a comment and tell me, have you noticed this pattern in your own body? Muscle going down, belly going up? I want to know when you first noticed it, and if this video finally explained the mechanism behind something that has been frustrating you. Subscribe.